apparently between Christmas and New Year is a great time to buy a house. More than 23 million single-family homes and condos sales over the past 6 years were studied and found only 3 days of the year consistently offered discounts below what was the estimated market value. That was between December 26 and December 31. So why so? Why is it that way? Standing by on the AcuteHearingCenters.com hotline is real estate expert Caralee Gurney. Caralee, welcome to 700 WLW. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me on.
What does one do to become a real estate expert?
Well, I've had nearly a decade of experience. I do numerous radio and podcast shows, and I just do good business.
Well, good. We like experts on this show, so that's good. That's good. Now, why is it that this time of the year is so lucrative in the home buying business? Is it because people are in a festive mood because it's Christmas, or is it something else?
Well, I'll tell you, there are people in a festive mood, but the reason that people are buying houses, and investors as well right now, is because everybody else is busy shopping, and the showings are slow, and so it gives sellers the angst that they need to get their home sold, which makes it a perfect buying opportunity for someone else out there looking.
So people are shuddering in their shoes, as they say, because the traffic isn't all that good.
Exactly. It's quiet, and they are ready to sell.
So a buyer at this time of the year has the upper hand.
They do. They do. And the market's just been that way over the past 6 months to 12 months. It's been shifting towards more of a buyer's market, and that's what happens. And then you get into December, and those 3 days in December that no one's doing anything other than holiday time with their families.
Yeah.
It's a perfect time for someone that wants to invest.
But on the other hand, if you're a seller and you're shuddering in your shoes, and you're a buyer and you're doing well, my guess is if you're just comparing this to other times of the year, there has to be other times of the year when things are more sane, right? More even for buying and selling. When does that come?
So the springtime is usually more of an active mode in the real estate market, and pretty more even than the rest of the time. And then you get into summertime, like June is usually the most high-priced home that you can buy.
Yeah, I'm looking here at this study, and it says December is the best month to buy nationally, but in Ohio, well, we came in with almost a 7.5% discount in January. That's the largest average price cut in the nation. So January may be a little bit better here than what it is nationally.
Could be. It definitely sounds like it is, and each market's different. You can look at national records and see how it looks overall, but you're right. You get into different markets like that, Cincinnati being one, and then in the Dallas area, December is more popular, and up in California, it may be even different there.
Well, now, Caralee, I've heard this, and it's anecdotal. You'll know far better than I, but it's anecdotal that homes that are priced in the $150,000 range and homes that are priced in the $1 million plus range tend to move quicker than those average priced homes, maybe like $300,000, $400,000. Is that just nonsense and party talk, or is there something to it?
Definitely the lower priced ones move faster. And I've found that mid-range can move pretty fast, too, up to about 400. When you get over 400, it does kind of slow, and the reason the higher priced homes sell, and I would say it's more like in the 900 to $1.5 million that still sells real well, is because you've got executives moving in towns, moving into areas where they want a higher end home, and it gives you opportunity to do that.
Sure, and it depends on where you live, right? I mean, there may not be a whole lot of product in terms of higher end homes, so
absolutely.
I mean, I think there are a lot. I think in most cities are similar in the sense that there's usually a lot of product at the $150,000 range, right?
Well, actually, it's harder to find products at 150 if you want to find something that interests you. I mean, I've found that buyers who are shopping in that range, just because supply and demand has changed and because the economy has blown up pricing so much, it's actually hard to find a house in that price range, and that would be the reason that it goes so fast in that range is there's not that many of them, and it's more affordable.
Yeah.
So that's why that's going to happen.
Caralee Gurney is our guest. She's a real estate expert. I love experts, by the way, as I said, Caralee. How do you see the housing market nationally coming up in 2020? As you said, there have been ebbs and flows, and there was a time, and not so long ago, when it was smoking hot, where you might have a property that was on the market like never, and that might be a rumor of it being sold, and it's sold before it's even listed. What do you see 2020 in the housing market?
I see 2020 being pretty stable. What we've seen is that about a year and a half ago, we started seeing a shift in the market nationally, and it's amazing how different areas it kind of trickles down to, but it kind of ends up being balanced overall. And right now, we're looking at, it's kind of shifted to more of an even market in 2019, and we see 2020 still being stable in the market there.
Yeah, I know this is a loaded question because you make your money in real estate. But is it still a good investment for someone? We know millennials are shying away from buying property, but is it still a good investment? Is it still one of those tax-savvy things that somebody can do?
Absolutely, and especially at this time of year, if you buy before the end of the year and you have that opportunity, you'll be able to go ahead and take advantage of that tax break in 2020 versus waiting a whole other year for it, and you can reinvest that money that you get back. So that's one really good reason to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, and is there a tax advantage to doing or buying or selling a home? But certainly we're talking about this is a buyer's atmosphere right now in these final days of a year, calendar year. Is there a tax advantage to buying a home between now and the end of the year?
It's the same thing. If you buy a home now before the end of the year, you're going to be able to take advantage of that tax break coming up here in the spring versus waiting an entire year to be able to take advantage of the move, because you've got your mortgage rate, your interest rate, your even your moving expenses in some cases where you can write that off. So definitely want to talk to a CPA about which ones that those may be, but definitely there are some tax breaks for being able to do that.
All right, Caralee, I appreciate it. Oh, by the way, this whole thing about the way homes are sold now, not necessarily where you have an agent, the agent takes you over the threshold of into the house and all that. I mean, a lot of the stuff is being done online, is it not?
It is, and I'll tell you, as a real estate agent, it's become more competitive in the market to be able to compete with that. You're seeing discounted prices that they're offering on their fees and flat fees that they're offering, and it's making it more difficult for your traditional real estate agent. And I'd say there are some advantages to both, and it depends on what type of buyer you are as to which one works better for you. In the traditional market, you're going to have someone that actually takes you through the whole process, that offers you more as a service agent. When you get into the iBuyer, you're looking at a system that maybe you just really want to sell your house really quickly, and you don't want to have to do anything to it, and they'll come in and buy it, usually at a discounted rate, or they'll come in and offer you a service where it's there's some that are pretty interesting, like Door is one of them, where they have different agents assigned to do different responsibilities. So you may have one agent showing you houses, and you may have another agent negotiating your deal for you, and another agent writing your contract up. So that relationship building that you see in the traditional market is what's going to probably be a difference there as well.
Well, it's just a cutthroat business, isn't it, Caralee? But you're a survivor and you're an expert, for God's sake.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, you have a wonderful new year, and thank you for some insight here. We appreciate it.